All right, guys. So just gonna get this started here. Now, today we do have a special guest, Ryan, who's going to be going over some pretty cool things here. But before he does, I just want to give everyone a heads up that this meeting will be recorded. I will provide a copy of this link to you guys so that you can review it for later. We're also going to be uploading this video to YouTube here within a day. And I just want to make sure everyone does understand. You can ask questions. This is an open Q&A. We just ask that you either chat those in, use the Q&A tool, or just raise your hand so we know you have a question. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pass this over to Ryan. Ryan, go ahead and take it away, my man.
Great. Yeah, thanks, Christian. Hey, guys. Welcome to the next level session today. What I was hoping to talk about, it probably won't go very long, but I wanted to take a look at thanks.io a little bit, but specifically a few campaigns that I've been working on. Now, Thanks is available in the kvCORE marketplace. You go to the marketplace, and I think it says API handwritten postcards or something like that. But the product has actually evolved and does a bit more than that. So I was hoping to just share a few templates that I had, a few mailers that I'm working on lately, and maybe take any Q&A you might have around that product. Full disclosure, I am a co-founder of Thanks.io. So anything you need to know about it, I can probably answer pretty good. And it's just been a while since we looked at it at any length. So if you go into the marketplace and you can see it says API handwritten postcards, really it's note cards, letters, a bunch of other features now. And we probably need to update this tile. So let's go ahead and dive in. And the first thing that I wanted to share with you guys here, hopefully you can see the screen, Christian.
Yeah, you're coming through.
Yeah, so I was working on this campaign. It was an example for somebody who had asked me, but I think I'm actually going to send this for myself too. But it's a campaign geared toward business owners. And this is kind of a demographic that I bring up frequently, that I don't think a lot of people build specific marketing campaigns for. A lot of us are just kind of focused on getting listings and finding, residential resale buyers. But in my experience is, the business owners in your community are probably the people who are most likely going to be able to refer a lot of other people to you. So it kind of makes sense to specialize in serving them. And by their nature, I mean, they're business owners, they're entrepreneurs. They are probably more inclined than a general sample of the population to actually want to buy an investment property. And I would say almost 100% of somebody, who's an entrepreneur in business, if you came to them and said, hey, I have a really good deal on a piece of real estate in our area, would you be interested in checking it out? I bet most would say yes, and would explore it, just given that they have the financial capacity to, right, at the current time. Not too many people would say, no, I don't want to know that info. So I was working on this card in Thanks, and I figured this is kind of a good way to show off Thanks a little bit too, to you guys, what it can do. But the card reads something like this. Hi, first name. If you've been thinking about buying an investment property or adding to your existing portfolio in Pinellas County, scan the QR code at the bottom of this note. When you scan, you'll be taken to a few curated list of Pinellas deals in the following categories. So then income properties, fixers, foreclosures, land, recent price reductions. Also, if you'd like to schedule a quick chat to talk about your investment criteria, you can use the following link. Now, I have a link that that basically goes to a Calendly, and it'll schedule a Zoom call. I'm not putting that here because I don't want to have a bunch of people watching this replay doing that with me. I don't have the bandwidth, but just to give you an idea, that's what you would do. You would put your calendar link in here and you can sync that to Zoom. Calendly.com is the tool I use for that. And I just say, hey, when we chat, I'll also share details about a few sold Pinellas opportunities, a few solid Pinellas opportunities that I know about right now. Thanks. And then it's just my name and the URL. I could also give my cell number if I want there, do whatever you want, contact info standpoint. Now, when this note card arrives, and I'll show you what the note cards look like. This is going to be sealed in an envelope. It's going to have a stamp on it. It looks handwritten, right? You can kind of see that on the right side. You can choose the font. And then if they scan the code right here, I'll actually get an email that tells me, hey, that person scanned the code. The other thing I can do is I can zap their contact info into kvCORE. It's a little more advanced, but I can take on every scan, I can inject that data about the contact into third-party softwares via Zapier. So that's just one idea. Any questions on that so far, guys? Let me look here. I know I read that a little quickly, went through it. But the idea here is that I'm going to focus on sending these mail pieces to business owners, knowing that they might want to invest, but also knowing that these people probably already own homes in the area, so they can potentially list with me someday, and they potentially refer to me. And I'm waiting for somebody to ask me, well, where are you getting the business owners info? But nobody's asking that so far, Christian. So I'm going to show everybody kind of how I'm going to build this list out. So you can, of course, go into Google, right? Go to Google Maps if you want, and or any other sources, and just start adding names of businesses to your database. That would be one sort of free and quick way to do that, right? Just go to Google Maps and, drop a pin and go to town. The other way is in thanks.io or with third-party mailing lists. There are a lot of vendors out there, but thanks.io, I can go here where it says buy leads. And leads is probably the wrong term. I want to get that changed for a while. It's really just buy a list. They're not quite a lead yet. But I can click in here, businesses. I can pick my geography. So pick my market here. So Pinellas County, Florida. I can then go to demography, and I can go by number of employees. So I don't really want to hit the owners of the really big companies around here. So maybe I'll do 5 to 10 people. So 5 to 9 who are doing at least 500,000. They've been in business at least a year, but not longer than 10 years, right? And you can see up at the top right, it updates. And there's apparently 2,500 of those in this market. So I can buy, say, a list of 100 of these to test out pretty quickly for $19.95. It's 20 cents a business record. And then the residential, you can do a very similar thing. If you're sending residential mail, it's actually half that price. It's about 10 cents a record. But you can see just like that, I've got a list together. Click buy, hit agree, and it'll pull it in as a mailing list into the thanks.io system. So I'll just call this Pinellas business owners. And now I have the ability to take that message that I just wrote right here. So it's in my message templates. And I then need an image template for the front side of my card. There's a few here. And one thing that we see, sorry about the dog. One thing that we see frequently with people using thanks.io is they get a little kind of hung up on the creative, what the image looks like. And I sort of gravitate toward just ugly and quick, right? So we have this Canva integration. You can see a few of the ones I've put in here. And I was thinking before we got on today, like, what would I use for this offer to this business owner? And I figured, okay, let's just use the site, show an example of what they're going to get. And I just hit print screen here using my screenshotting tool. And I'm just going to use this image. Right, I basically just did a map search of some properties, income properties. I'm going to use this image. Now, if I want to get extra fancy, right here, that's weird. I didn't see Mariam's chat, so sorry I missed that. If I want to get extra fancy, I can add a little bit to this image using the thanks.io editor. So let's just click here and click design note card. Oops. Go. I'm doing note cards, so I need to be down here where it says design note card. We'll open up Canva. Oh boy. Let's hope I'm logged into Facebook. There we go. It'll log me in. And then I can pull that image in, that screenshot that I had. Right here. And for those of you who have caught, Heather Bowden on our team, who does these sessions as well. I think her day is Wednesday. She does a lot with Canva. So check out her sessions. But I come in here and do that. And then I'll just add a little text. And the text that I was going to add, just keeping it really simple and quick. And sometimes with marketing, the uglier the better. So it burns people's eyeballs out, right? So you really see the thing you want them to see. I'll just do my 727realestatedeals.com right here. And this is a URL that I talk about a lot. I mentioned it in the script that I was just reading to you guys right here. But this is sort of my main URL that I like to send people to engage as kind of my core lead generation hook. I'm going to I haven't done this in a while, Christian. I'm trying to remember how to put highlight in the background. A
Uh,
yellow, right?
well, I think you might have to have the paid version for that.
Do you? I think I thought I
Yeah,
did.
well,
Okay.
the effects are right there, so you have that.
All right. Just try to make it stick out a little. All right.
Yes,
I won't sweat it.
some of the options are paid though, or
Oh,
you
okay.
have to get the extra version, I guess, of Canva.
Yeah. So I'll just hit save note card now. That's good enough. And that'll bring it into the system as an image. And once it's created, and in this case, we're building a foldable note card. So we have note cards, letters, postcards. But once it's created here, I now have the ability to go and send um, this image right here, this message, which I was reading you guys at the top of the hour, right? The one that addressed, was targeted toward the business owners. And I can send those two to this specific mailing list. So there's a few ways I can do that. I'll click here on the send now. I'll choose the note card option, choose the image, hit continue, choose that template. It'll kind of write it out for me right here. I'm going to edit the QR code so that it has realestatedeals.com. So if this card gets scanned and they go to my site, that I'll be notified. Tom's asking why 727. 727 is our area code. So if you guys, if that kind of URL isn't taken in your area, it's a pretty good one because it's going to resonate, with everybody in your area. And it just kind of says what it is, real estate deals, which is a good hook. And then I'll just choose my existing mailing list here to send to my business owners, save and continue. And just like that, I can submit and send the order right now. Now, these were the more expensive business cards. That's why you see this pricing here. They are $1.79 each. That's because they're with heavier card stack. They're in an envelope. They have handwriting on the front. Postcards are 59 cents if you're on our business plan. So if you want to kind of do this idea quickly, you can do it with a postcard. And I need to revise. You can see edit the cut lines here. Text is going outside of the red and the blue. I'll go make that font smaller later. But just for demo's sake, that's kind of how quick and easy you can get a campaign like this out. So that's one idea. Prospecting business owners. Again, with the buy leads tool or the buy mailing list tool, you can kind of come up with lots of different hooks and angles for both residential and business. I could come in here to individuals and do some stuff that Facebook in particular doesn't allow us to do anymore. So I can do, say, a specific zip code and say, hey, give me all homeowners. Right. So I click homeowner or renter. And I want people who've been in their home for at least 5 years. And let's just say that they thought equity was in here. Let me check. I can go by estimated home value. I can go their loan to value. So say they have 0 to 50% LTV on their mortgage right now, which means they have some equity, right? And I can run these searches in the system and it can generate me some lists. Now, it doesn't look like it's finding. I went too tight in this market. Oh no, there it is. I found 3,000 homes that fit that criteria. Like so. And then again, you build a list, you follow the same process I just showed with different messaging. So that's that. That's sort of a prospecting, trying to generate cold leads using direct mail as a traffic source. And you could do that like I did to business owners to try to generate what are buyer leads that could turn into seller leads. I could also go more direct and say, hey, if you'd like a free report that shows what your house might sell for today. That's a common thing that I see a lot of agents doing, with the system. It's kind of the most direct, path to asking for a listing right here. So you can see an example card, get a free detailed 20+ page report that tells you what a buyer might pay for your Florida property today. Patricia, the lists are 9.9 cents. They're 10 cents a residential record, and they are 20 cents for the business owner records. And once you put them in the account one time, you can reuse them as many times as you want. You don't have to pay for the list every time. And again, there are plenty of vendors out there that can sell you lists as well. The other thing you can do with thanks, you can just drop a pin on the map and just send to everybody in that neighborhood without paying anything. So if you're just doing regular farming for, say, a card like this, so 20+ page report, I think I have a template for this, so I'll just show what that looks like. Actually don't. So let's make one on the fly. So say I was trying to get listings with that particular card design. I'll pick the cheaper 59-cent postcards. I'll get a 20+ page report postcard. I'll just say hi. The real estate market in Pinellas County continues to be off the charts. Let's say to be very hot. Many homeowners are surprised when they see what their neighbors' houses are selling for. If you'd like a free 20+ page detailed report that shows what, and then if I want, I can actually merge in the address of the property. So you can see, you can merge it in. What address might sell for today, just scan the QR code at the top right of this card. So there isn't necessarily, Patricia's asking about pricing. There is a non-monthly fee version for Thanks. It just has a higher cost for your cards. But if you do the business plan at Thanks.io, it's $49 a month, and it just buys down your mailing rates to wholesale, more or less, and unlocks a bunch of other features. So, but it is $49 a month for the business plan. So if you'd like a free 20+ page report, scan the QR code. Again, I'll add the QR. For this, I might make a Google form or a landing page, custom, that offers the free report. Just to keep things fast, I could also send them to my sell page. So /sell.php. So if they scan that, it'll ask them to put their address in and they can get their value. But then I can also follow up and send the full report. I'll probably make something more custom for this, and then tie it into kvCORE. But that's that right there. So I've got my messaging. I just got to put my name. Okay, and then when you click out, it'll kind of just make sure it all fit pretty good. Save and continue. The advantage of postcards, of course, is that they get read right away. The eyeballs go down to the handwritten font. It feels like somebody wrote you something. The sealed note cards and the sealed letters, maybe some people don't end up opening those, but the note cards themselves, they kind of almost look like a wedding invitation. They look like something you want to open. They feel pretty personal, so they get a good rate of opens. And then now we're at this part where we select recipients, and I can click the map option right here, and I can go to my zip code. I don't know why this thinks I'm somewhere strange. And then I can you can just go grab this little square off to the right, draw. Let's go up here. Oh, my neighborhood. That was a little big. So I'd have to zoom in first. But you guys get the point. I would just kind of draw my square, hit save and continue, and then submit and send. So Patricia, yes, I think the UI, I've heard feedback that the UI is a little better in sending out cards. They have some things they can do that we can't do at Thanks. But gift cards, as you're asking, are about a week or two away. So you will be able to send a gift card with Thanks.io from about 50 to 100 different vendors. It's a pretty good list, all the usual suspects, the Home Depots, the Dunkin' Donuts, Visa gift cards. So you'll be able to do that. The cool thing about the way we're implementing gift cards is if you're on our business plan, you won't have to pay for the gift card until it's redeemed. So you can actually kind of get the credit for, like the goodwill of sending the gift card, but if they don't redeem it, then you don't pay for it. It's kind of a cool thing. And yes, Veronica's asking, so when we do this process that you just saw me do, this is all printed and sent with postage included. So the pricing that I'm mentioning and that you see on the site, that all includes the postage. So out the door, it's all done digitally here, as you can see, and then your physical cards and letters are sent out, for the prices that you're seeing. So this one, we'll send 196 for $115, and that's, 159 cents a postcard. So going back to the dashboard here. So what I just showed you was kind of two examples of generating fresh business, right? That last card was farming. The other way that you can use something like Thanks.io and direct mail, and I highly recommend it, is to follow up with leads or to follow up with past clients. And the ROI on doing that, if you think about 59 cents to get a touch out in the mail or $1.79 for the note cards, compared to the average transaction size in real estate, it could really make a lot of sense. And maybe we'll look at the math in a minute. I was doing it this morning, and it's something like if you send 59-cent postcards and your average transaction is 300K, right? And you get a 1/10 of a 1% conversion rate, right? So if you get one deal for every 1,000 cards you send, that will cost you $590. And just think about your average commission on a $300,000 property. So for $590, most of us make somewhere around $6,000, on an 80% split. Our broker, 2.5 buyer side, it's like a 10x return. And this is why if you ask a lot of top producers, many of them say, yes, I regularly send direct mail. It's just kind of like something that still works and has worked for years and years and years. But I think with everything having gone digital, a lot of people kind of overlook this channel. So the second way, other than generating leads, is this idea of follow-up. So you can see here a quick little thank you postcard. Thank you for your recent property value request, right? That's a very simple card, designed in Canva in about 2 minutes, just black background, and a little screenshot of what the property report they might have requested looks like. And what you can do is you can trigger this kind of follow-up card automatically using Zapier and automation. Want to kind of show you, it's a little, I might as well show you now, I've opened a can of worms, how to do that. We've done webinars about how to trigger them, but basically it's Zapier.com. For any of you guys have used it, we've done webinars on Zapier pretty frequently. Just kind of get in here. Oh boy. I got a new machine, Christian, so everything's not saved.
Yeah, I see. Is that like Windows 11?
Yeah, it is. And it is throwing me. It's pretty similar, but it is throwing me off a bit.
Yeah, I was like looking at everything, like your search bar centered.
Yep.
Your Windows bar at the bottom is off. It's strange.
Yeah.
While you're doing that, Ryan, just for everyone that's kind of asked about this, guys, I am going to get some more beginning training material for you. This is just more of an advanced course talking about a paid add-on tool. So for those of you asking about, what training can we get and what guidance you could use, don't worry, I'll talk about that in a little bit here.
Yeah, yeah, guys, every day at 4 o'clock, we do these sort of next level sessions, and it's an open Q&A. And we have our basic stuff, as Christian will share, at 1 p.m. East every day. And the idea behind these sessions is we kind of just want to show you some things that we're doing that are a little bit more advanced and help you apply the features of kvCORE to your business. So as you saw me using these various templates, for example, this one here, it says text message home value report to that number. I kind of went quickly over that, but you could use a kvCORE smart number, yes, and capture code to and that's what I'm using here. So somebody texts that and they get it back. You saw I was using 727 real estate deals on my cards. Well, all that is, that's a kvCORE landing page, like so. So what we're talking about today is more or less a traffic source, and the source is direct mail via Thanks.io. But you could use Quantum Digital, you use Mailbox Power, send out cards, whatever you want to kind of get this stuff done. So yeah, the second way is thanking people. It is possible with a kvCORE to kind of have somebody opt in as a seller lead and have kvCORE talk to Thanks.io and automatically trigger follow-up in the mail. I'm going to kind of not open that can of worms in today's session. We do have a webinar about how to exactly do that. It's a little bit involved, but just know the team at Thanks.io will actually help you set that up as well. If you actually do have leads coming in with addresses into kvCORE. So
I don't know if you saw the question there. Patricia asked if they sign up for Thanks.io, do they have access to see your templates that you've already built out, or are those things that they have to create?
We can provide them. Thanks.io actually has a there's a little like how-to course. It looks kind of similar to the learning portal at kvCORE. And in that course, there's about 30 different templates you could use, scripts that you can use for real estate. But we're kind of, thanks is kind of full service. You know, if you go and tell the team what you're trying to do, we'll kind of help you, write those and design them, things like that. So, yep. Yeah, and then the last kind of feature here I wanted to share because it's kind of new. Thanks is now doing automated finding of contact info of people visiting your site. We're calling it visitor view. And this is pretty cool. Let me see. Yeah, so it's already, I just installed this morning. No, this isn't the one I installed this morning, but I installed it last week on my 727 real estate deals site. And you can see if you look, these folks who visited that page, for a few of them, I've gotten an email, I've gotten a phone number. So there's a little script attached to the mailing list right here that you can put in your kvCORE site. And about 15 to 20% of the people visiting your site, if there's a high degree of confidence that the information is accurate, it'll inject them into the system like this. So just another cool thing. So another use of direct mail will be to retarget your existing website traffic or the leads and the past customers that you're getting via automation.
Very cool.
So yeah. Any
Awesome.
more questions on that, guys? If not, I'll let Christian kind of take over with the Q&A, right?
Yeah. So guys, any questions about this topic? This is something I got to learn about here today. I've never really seen the inside of thanks.io. I've just seen the postcards, which are actually really nice. But following that up, it looks like Patricia, you've got another question. I see campaigns on our desktop, so we would have a buyer/seller campaign. Well, if you do have your if you're referring to the smart campaigns, yeah, you should have a buyer and a seller campaign already set up by default within your kvCORE accounts, unless you were referring to the thanks.io.
Yeah, Thanks has a campaigns feature that works pretty much like drip email for mail. So when you add somebody to a mailing list, it can send a series of campaigns out. And
Gotcha.
I have this. Let me just show you here. Let's say templates. We do have. You would just have to ask Patricia, but we do have an account that we can kind of clone over. Sorry guys, I think I'm still tired from that camping trip, Christian. Let me see here. The brain is not working correctly. So if I go into campaigns right here, this will give you an idea of how it works. But I have a few example ones, like an expired one. And what it'll do is it'll send a postcard on day 3, on day 8, day 14, FSBOs. So it basically sends it at intervals. But the other thing you can do, and then I'll be done, is you can integrate into your existing kvCORE smart campaigns. You can send a campaign action. So let's just go into one here. You can add an action and you can use the Zapier, and you can actually manually send individual postcard, letter, or no card touches from within thanks.io campaigns without touching the thanks.io campaign functionality.
Okay.
Yeah, so a little more advanced, as I said a minute ago, without going too deep into that rabbit hole. Just know that the team at thanks.io can help set that up if you're a business user over at thanks.io.
All righty, cool. Ryan, thank you so much, man.
No problem.
This is really cool.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna drop off, guys. Got some other stuff coming up here, but thanks, Christian. Yep.
Yeah, no worries. So guys, I'm gonna be sharing my screen now. We're going to be going into just a quick gathering of information. I know Wes there and Miriam, you guys needed some help with some of the tools here in kvCORE. I'm going to be sharing some of this, guys. Just a quick once over. You have training material here in terms of videos, written material, as well as webinars for you guys to attend. All right. These pieces of information are all guided. They're structured for you. The main area I'm going to direct you to first, okay, is when you log into your kvCORE account, it will have you jump into the Agent Quick Start, or what is previously known as the Success Plan. Okay, you can jump into this if you'd like, but also under the Support and Training tab, if you just hover over it, you'll see a courses section. Okay, and from this area, you can find all of our learning material in terms of like guided structured pieces, the Agent Quick Start Guide is the place to start though. For any beginners here, if you are just trying to learn this system, this is the best place to start. First, because one, it has the guided pieces here, some quick, very short videos, followed by some action items, testing your knowledge, making sure you're following along, and then where you can register for that webinar. All right. Now, if you would like more just the, I would say, direct training from somebody like me or one of the other fellow trainers here, back in our dashboard here in kvCORE, okay, you do have this live training calendar. All right, this is when and where we have our webinars. I'll stick to the East Coast just for now so that you guys understand. Say tomorrow we have our Agent Quick Start Part 2 meeting. Okay, so for everyone here looking to get some help and better understanding of these meetings and I would say the system as a whole, feel free to jump into these live webinars. However, there is this document that I share with you guys. Okay, I'm going to copy it, not paste the previous link, and paste it in here. All right. This has our previously done recordings of that Agent Quick Start Guide, which again just started. We've got part 1 here, part 2, part 3, and all of these links here. These are recordings that you guys can just access and review for later. So from last week, I had this meeting you guys can review, and it does have a guided structure. You can see the questions that were asked, just like here today. You guys will have a recording that I will share again from that Google document link. And this is it right here. Okay. You guys will have those recordings. Today, it's going to be Ryan. We just went over the thanks.io tools, and that's where you can review this for later. All righty. So with that being said, I hope that helped you guys out. For our beginners in here, don't worry, you can definitely stick around. But I'm just going to open up the floor, see if anyone has any questions for now. Feel free to chat those in. You can also utilize the Q&A tool, and I can see you guys raise your hand. So Patricia, you're asking, I was looking for info on how to structure navigation on the website, drop downs, for example, but you didn't find anything. Can you help? So a little bit, yes, I can definitely help you get those custom pages and how you want to navigate the menu there. It is a little tricky to learn, but once you get it, it kind of just makes sense. Going over and understanding what Patricia's talking about, guys. Patricia's looking to edit her website, okay, so that it displays the navigation menu at the top in a certain order. And let me just show you exactly where she's referring to on my own site. So right here, give it a second to load. Right here is where you will see that navigational menu. And if you notice here, Patricia, I've already added a custom piece there called the monthly newsletter. Okay, I can't remember exactly how it's supposed to work in this order, but I'll definitely fix it with you here. So going over to my custom pages area, I'll click on view/edit. I have my monthly newsletter, and then it looks like I built out a demo recruitment page there. For this though, if you noticed, it's not displayed on my website. So going back to there, it's not showing. Okay. But if I go over to the resources tab, it's going to have it there. Okay. So any custom page you build out there, Patricia, it's going to have all of the custom pages display in your resources tab. Following this, it's there. The page is real. It's live. It just brings them over to this page. It was a random landing page that I just built out. To get this added in, there are a couple things we need to do. First off, it needs to be a part of a category. Okay. Secondly, if it's not, you can create one. And then we have to add it to the site in the navigational menu. Okay. So coming back to the Web and IDX tab here, we go into edit settings and custom navigation right here. You can just click on this, or you can scroll down. With custom navigation, it brings you here. First off, you have the labels. Let's go back here. So just on that page. You have those labels there, search, sell, finance. That's what this changes. So instead of search, I could say buy, find your value, homes value, finance, or here, get financing, save. Oh, yep. That's one thing you should do, guys. Make sure to save and then move on to the next part. And your home's value. I'll save it and then buy your next home. All right, so I'm going off on a tangent on something you didn't ask about there. Sorry, Patricia. Scrolling all the way down, though, is where we can select those custom pages for navigation. Now, if you want a drop-down, you need to select that custom page as a category, okay? When you select it as a drop-down there, you save it, it makes the change, and now we give our website just a second here to see if it pulls through. There it is, recruitment, okay? Now, following that, there are some documents I will share for you so you can review this for later. So give me a second with that, Patricia. But while I'm doing that, it's important to note, whatever you add first, be it a custom page for the navigation or a category, okay? Whatever you add first is going to be the furthest to the, furthest to the left. So you have monthly newsletter because I added that before, and then I did recruitment. So if I remove both of these, I'll save it, or I'll just leave that one in there. And then I go back over, we'll refresh the page. Some pages. Give it a second here. There it is. Okay, so they removed the monthly newsletter. And we'll just add it, not back there. Let's do navigation menu item. And refresh the page. And there it is. Okay. Hopefully that answered your question there, Patricia. I'm going to be sharing a link to how you can add these custom pages, basically everything that I just went over there, into the chat. All righty. So guys, we still have plenty of you in here. I just want to open up the floor. Is there any other questions I can answer? It's a pretty cool tool that we looked at there, Patricia. If I could also recommend anything in the Agent Quick Start Guide, if you go through part 3 with getting familiar with your website and listings, if you go through this here, the information is around all that stuff. So, you know, the website settings, adding in a custom page, all that good stuff. Anything else coming out for you guys right now? Again, you can raise your hand, chat in those questions, or use the Q&A tool. If you've got a mic, though, I would love to hear from someone. Alrighty, so since I'm not getting anything from you guys right now, what I want to do is maybe just walk through something real quick. And if there's no questions, oh, thank you there, Patricia. If there's no questions after that, we'll come back. But Patricia, you did ask, what do you nest links under, for example, in resources? So under resources there, I'm guessing you're referring to this part. Huh. So generally, I believe there might be some specific areas to toggle on with that. Let me just double check here. Well, you can hide it. So that is something there. I'm just looking through this, the label, hide resources tab. Okay, so you're asking how to do it, not what content it is. Okay. Let me just double check here. Wonder if you can. I'm not sure if you can. That's something I'm going to have to double check. Yeah. I'm not sure what can go under the resources tab there in placing stuff there. But as of right now, it doesn't look like it. I'll have to get back to you on that one, Patricia. I'm just not aware, but take it right now as it's not possible. Yeah, I see what you're asking here. You just want to like add more information to this resources, like having it be a further drop down. Gifts, then you can, yeah, okay. Yeah, from what I'm seeing, it doesn't seem possible. Yeah. I'll have to double check with you and get back to you tomorrow. Okay. I know you're in these meetings almost every day, so don't worry. I'll look for you. But as of right now, I don't think it's possible. Glenda, you're asking Zapier basics to get leads into kvCORE's interactions with your social media posts. You know, what I'd have to say there, Glenda, is that you'd most likely need to build out some kind of trigger or see what kind of trigger is available from Facebook's end in Zapier so that it can set that as the action to add them into your kvCORE account. So basically, it's something that is going to have to come from the Zapier end of things. I can't access a Zapier account because I don't have one right now. However, I will bring this up to Heather, who is kind of our resident expert with that, and we'll see if we can get some more information there. But as of right now, you just need to set the trigger to be something like, hey, they communicate with you. And then from that social media post, from that active communication, you collect their information, and it goes through and pushes into kvCORE. It's a trigger in Zapier that you need to set up. That's what I'm with the understanding of. Alrighty. Okay. Rich, hey, my man. If someone lands on my website, does kvCORE capture that info to the CRM? If someone accesses the website through Google, my business site or social media site, will the website contact also go into the CRM? Rich, I will say for the first option or for the first question, no, it's never guaranteed. If somebody goes to the website, you don't automatically collect their information. All right. Following that, if they ask a question, basically, if they do anything in specific, like even look at listings, the system is going to require them to register. Okay. Now, following that, all right, any kind of question, share on Pinterest, share on Facebook, if they save it, any of that as well captures the leads. Okay. Now, for the second part of your question, if someone accesses the website through Google your Google My Business site, sorry, you just worded that kind of strangely there, or social media site, will the website content go into the CRM? That is possible. That is something that can happen, say, like through Google Ads. Like if I look up real estate in my city, San Diego here, that's an ad. So this is a possibility right now that if I click on this, somebody's capturing my information. Okay. That's why there's that little label there. They have to say that. That's the law. Now, following this, same thing with Facebook. If you see an ad on Facebook here, you go looking through it. Let's see if we can pull one up. What ads do I have suggested for me? I have no idea why this was recommended to me. Uh, I've never played Picket Ball. I don't even know what it is. But let's see if there's another ad more specific to me because I don't want to get random stuff. All right, here we go. This is a community to join. Man, that's a really weird thing to send me an ad for. Let me just refresh the page, see if I get a new one. Nah, Man. Well, regardless, just letting you know there, Rich, as soon as somebody clicks on it, it would get them to register. All right. Following that, Patricia, you just asked here, curious, what would you choose if you could only have one add-on? I don't know. I really, I honestly couldn't tell you. It depends on what you're looking for. Let me just put it that way. Okay. If you need to build up your pipeline, all right, ads are always great. And it could be the digital kind. Okay. I'm talking about the ones from the marketplace there, Facebook ads, Google ads, that kind of stuff. That's always a solid choice. But things like thanks.io and what Ryan went after can also work. I would say this, you got to do some homework on knowing what your audience is if you're looking to purchase ads and purchase leads there. So in my recommendation for building up your pipeline, ads are always a good piece, but physical marketing is as well. And maybe for a more personal touch, let me just say the core add-ons here with core video, okay, or I'm sorry, core video here, that's for you guys, I think is a great tool. All right. Being able to have that personal touch sent via an email or a text message, just being like, hey there, Rich, it was great seeing you the other day, my man. I hope your family's doing well. Just wanted to let you know I saw these 3 properties that are definitely worth looking at, especially for investments, such and such and such, blah, blah, blah. Go through all the details and just say, hey, if you are interested in it, just let me know. That's all. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So yeah, Rich, you're totally getting that. Core video is definitely one that I recommend. Core voicemail drop is, I would say, one of the better options for the older crowd. And I'm not trying to call out anyone in specific here, say you're older or something like that. But guys, if you're dealing with somebody that's probably under the age of 40, this tool doesn't work great. Seriously. I never check my personal voicemail. It's just not something I do. I'm 31 years old. Us millennials, we just don't care about voicemails. We like texting and emails sometimes, and that's like sometimes, and just actually talking on the phone. Don't leave us a voicemail, send us a text. That's kind of where I'm at. But if you have like a business market with seniors, 55 plus communities, this is gold. Seriously, this tool does so much for people looking at older folks or maybe retirees and stuff like that. Just because, hey, they're going to see that they've got a voicemail waiting for them. They're going to want to hear it, and they're going to reach back out to you because, hey, that's the information that they wanted to know. So, I mean, there's so many different tools you can use. Core video is great. Let me see here. As far as third-party tools go, I mean, these are all pretty cool. Like, I don't feel like anything's bad about these. Like they're all doing what they're supposed to do. Maybe I could plug in my team here. Guys, coaching sessions. All right. You'll get in-depth training. All right. One-on-one training with a real estate expert. Like these are coaches. These are people that have been in the business and they know how to use kvCORE. So if you're maybe looking for some way heavier guidance here, these coaching sessions can offer a lot. This next level mastermind, this is what you guys are up here with. But the other pieces, the kvCORE setup service, the done for you, I wouldn't say you need these. So that's really just for extra people or people that don't have their account set up, or at least aren't taking the time to manage their accounts. Yes, they can. They can help set up what's it called, like smart campaigns, those kinds of things. Now, as far as things outside of kvCORE, I'm not too sure as far as like how this is all managed. But in terms of like the set amount, they consult you first. They just like say, hey, this is what we can offer. Go into it. Yeah, I'm not too sure about that. I don't know if they can go into like your third party platforms. Might be something that we need to double check. Better yet, we can just ask our support team and they can let you know, because they have a marketplace support team to let you know as much as you need. See if I can find any more information there. These are really good topics, guys, and I really appreciate you asking these kinds of questions, because it gives me ideas of what you want to learn about next. And I'm kind of in charge of getting these people out here to share this off. Okay. Miriam, you're asking, you said, I have thousands in your CRM contacts. You were told that you can only send out 250 at a time. I'm assuming that's like emails or communication. It doesn't make sense to me. And you're correct. That doesn't make sense. That is not the limit. That's the limit. Okay. That's the limit for how many mass emails you can send out manually. That's all. You schedule this to go out. All right. You can send this out to however many contacts you have. Mine's just still stuck on the 10 rows there. Doesn't matter. Regardless, that's that way. However, through our other platforms in our marketing tab, you can send out a mass email to a group of 100 contacts, to 1,000 contacts, to 1,000,000 contacts. It doesn't matter. You just schedule the mass email and choose who you're going to send it to. They can be from contacts with a save filter, contacts with a hashtag associated with them, or contacts that fall under a certain status or statuses. You can set it for any new leads, prospects, sphere, any kind of contacts in your system, and whoever it be it the 5 or the 500 or the 5,000, it doesn't matter. So Miriam, this will engage with however many people you want it to. Okay, this is just the way you set it up, because the other page only allows you to manually send out 250 at a time. This tool builds that out. You don't know what the hashtag is and how to use them. What do they accomplish? No worries. So with what you said there, Miriam, what I'll mention here is that the hashtag tool in kvCORE is not necessarily like hashtags like on Facebook and Twitter. Think of it as like a tag or like a label, right? So a contact in your CRM, you've put them in here, like Bobby here. He's a good friend of mine. I've known him for a while, but I don't really know that if he's interested in moving right now. So I've labeled him as a prospect. He's somebody that I could potentially get business from. But from this, the hashtags, okay, are labeling something for me. They're telling me that he's in Oceanside or that he likes Oceanside. That's the city name, okay? And following that, you can build out communication, such as like one of those scheduled mass emails that we talked about. Something like hashtag newsletter. And seriously, adding that as a hashtag to someone, I could have the follow-up maybe be a scheduled mass email. It could be a smart campaign, whatever it could be. Hashtags are a way to trigger actions and to label and I would say just understand what those leads are. Are they investor type leads? Are they a house flipper? I mean, you could be that, I guess, blunt about it. But the house flipper there, they're looking to, get as many as they want. Okay. And you guys, just looking at Patricia here, when you just click on the hashtag, you don't need to add the hashtag here. You don't need to add that symbol. You just type it out, and therefore it becomes a hashtag. Now, if Patricia, what you want to do is add it via a note, you can. If you do the hashtag symbol in a note, you'll see the drop down of all my hashtags that are in the system, like hashtag past client, add note, and there it is. All right. Rich, I see your question here. Is there a way to set up an automation where you are going through thanks.io, with postcards trying to get an email or a text response. So yes, there is a way to do it. Okay. However, it needs to go through like a Zapier connection in between your kvCORE and your thanks.io account. I'm not sure if you saw that there, but Ryan did briefly talk about it. That was what he was saying, like, I'll have to open up a whole nother can of worms to go into that kind of stuff. So it is something that's possible, okay, but it is going to require a lot of advanced level know-how, I would say. All right. So Miriam, yeah, no worries, my man, no worries. So Miriam, you're asking, so what does the hashtag do? Well, it's many things. The main way I like to look at a hashtag is it does two main aspects to the CRM, to my contacts. The first is it helps me label them. I know what I'm tagging them with. Oceanside, past client, such and such area, price point, 100 to 200, whatever. That's the cool thing. Yeah, categorizing, exactly that. You get to label it, you get to sort it, you get to frequent, no, what was it? File it, right? It's categorizing. It's just an additional category that a lead can fit into. You can create as many of those categories as you want. That's what's the good thing about hashtags, is there's no real limit to it. Now, following that, the second portion to it is that a hashtag beyond a label can trigger communication. It can trigger marketing tools. One of those ones we just looked at, scheduling a mass email. I can schedule an email to go out to all of those contacts in my system that have hashtag Oceanside attached to them. And I can maybe advertise that we have an open house in the brokerage that's interested in that listing in Oceanside, right? Or maybe because I have like 20 leads in my platform right now that have all looked at properties in Oceanside, I attach that tag to them. So now they're categorized to that area. Okay. And because of that, I send out an email saying whatever. Okay. And it reaches out. Now, Miriam, you're asking an interesting question here. Can I use this for a market alert or a market report? I would guess you're saying, or referring to, at least in kvCORE. The thing about this is that in your CRM, no worries there, Patricia, I'll let them know. In your CRM, the things that can be done in mass are not automated pieces of communication. So at least property alerts and market reports, you cannot set these up in mass from this area. You can set up a property alert from the marketing tab that we were just in. Okay, so that is possible there, but not a market report. Market reports cannot be built out in mass. Patricia, yeah, I'm sorry. Please discuss. Yeah, so one big thing here, Miriam, and for everyone that's interested in sending out their emails this way, the little check boxes here, I'm going to be honest with you guys, don't ever use these. I just don't think that the success rate for the deliverability from this method is great. I would say text your leads in mass. That's a good way to do this, but don't use the mass email tool, because a lot of the time it gets flagged as spam from here. And it's not always, and it's not something that's 100% foolproof, of course. But this is usually the only time an email that would come from kvCORE gets flagged as spam. If you just email somebody on an individual level, no problem. If you send out automated emails through, say, a drip or a smart campaign, that's fine as well. Not a big deal. And also scheduled mass emails, totally fine. These tools won't get flagged. Okay. What is a drip? There, Miriam, a drip, or what we like to call smart campaigns, it's a tool that automates communication with your contacts, okay, based off of certain criteria. So maybe you have a new lead in the system and they're a buyer type. A smart campaign that's already in kvCORE, it's already there for you, it's defaulted in the system. It can attach to your lead and drip feed them information. So like an email, a text message. It'll schedule a phone call for you to make because this lead has now been in your system for a full day and they haven't responded. So that kind of stuff, right? Patricia, you're asking here, what if you use a hashtag to create a group for an email? Is it delivered? As long as the hashtag is attached to that group of contacts, yeah, but it needs to be on the contacts before it's supposed to send out, okay? Miriam, there is, if you go back to that marketplace tab, there are those tools for the coaching over here, and you can have a kvCORE setup service or just done for you services there, all right? Okay, guys. So I do have to end today's meeting, but before I do, I am going to share this one last time. This is that Google Doc. Please copy and paste it, bookmark this page if you haven't. This contains all of that training material, all right? It has a bunch of material for you guys to go over. If you need to just maybe get a crash course in kvCORE, review part 1 here, all right? And then go into part 2, part 3, part 4. We've got all this stuff for you guys, so use it, okay? How do you bookmark? If you're using Google Chrome there, Miriam, right up here, you can bookmark there. But generally, no, Safari, maybe they have like a little settings bar. I'm not too sure in how it's set up. If all else fails, just Google it, how to bookmark a page in Safari. That's all you need to do. All right. Just click on the link and then bookmark it. Yep. All righty, guys. So everyone here, thank you guys so much for being here today. Oh, it's not clickable. Just copy the link. If you can highlight that word there or that link, just copy it and then paste it in your search bar. All right. There you go. Awesome. Awesome. All righty, guys. You have a great day and I'll see everyone tomorrow. Bye, guys.